This is Eric Chappell, author of AutoCAD Civil 3D 2013 Essentials, and this is the additional exercise for Chapter 13. In this exercise, we're not really given any specific instructions on what to do. We're just simply told to apply what you've learned so far in this chapter to take this alternate parcel layout and make it look good and professional. So we want to create a professional looking legal document that conveys the same types of information that we've seen in previous exercises. Alright, so we're going to be dealing with styles, we're going to be dealing with labels in this particular exercise. So I'm going to start with Parcel Styles, and I'll start with this adjoiner parcel right here. Now there's a couple of different ways I can change the style of a parcel. I can select it and go to Parcel Properties and change the style here. I'm going to change it to adjoiner. I can also use the Properties window, so I can select one or more parcels and go to the AutoCAD Properties window and change the style there. Here I'll use open space. I've also got to change the right-of-way parcel, so I'll use the same. This time I'll use Parcel Properties from the right-click menu. And that takes care of everything but the individual lots here. So these are a little bit tougher because there are so many of them. I really don't want to have to sit here and select parcels for the next 2 to 3 solid minutes. So I mean, I could do it this way, but it's really not a whole lot of fun. Instead, I'd like to do a whole bunch of them at once. Now, in the book, it tells you to use the prospector to do this, and normally that would work, but apparently there is a, I'm going to go ahead and call it a bug in this version of the software, where if I go in and select the parcels node in prospector, I should see a list of parcels here, but I don't. I'm hoping Autodesk fixes this quickly, and by the time you watch this video, this is going to work for you perfectly. What I would do, if you could just imagine a list of parcels here, they would be arranged maybe by name or in the order that they were created. What I would do is scroll over to this column called Style, and I would click the Style column heading, and it would sort them by style. And all of the ones that have the style of Property, which is everything left that I need to stylize, would kind of all group together. And then I could go through and use my Shift key and select all the ones that have the style called Property. I could right-click the Style column and hit Edit, change it to Lot, and it would change all the parcels at once. So that's how you would normally do this. But we can't right now. So what's another way? Well, it just so happens that there's a command just for that kind of thing. If I click on a parcel to bring up the contextual ribbon, you'll see that there's a command called Multiple Parcel Properties. And I can select that. It has a selection tool similar to what we use for renumbering parcels, where I can draw lines through all of the parcels that I want to select. I'll hit enter. Hit enter again, and I've got, I don't know, 40 or so parcels selected. Now here's the tricky part. It only lets you, by default, it only lets you edit one parcel at a time. You see it's going property 8, property 9, property 10. So you have to know about this special little button right here, which applies whatever change you've made to all of the parcels you've selected. So I'm going to change this to Lot, which only is going to apply to property 8. What I want to do is apply it to everything. So I'll click this button here, apply the parcel style to all selected parcels. It says, are you sure you want to do this? There are 39 of them. Yes, I'm sure. And I'll click OK. And I've just, without using Prospector, I've changed all of the parcel styles, looks like except this one, to Lot. So let me take care of that guy. Oh, nope, that one is Lot as well. We may just have a display order thing going on there. But anyway, that's how you can get around this prospector issue if you need to. Hopefully, like I said, by the time you watch this video, you won't need to deal with that. The next thing we'll look at, speaking of display order, is parcel style display order. So what I'd like to see here, I'd like the adjoiner line to take precedence over the lot line. So what I'll do is I'll go to the lot layout site and then to properties. Actually, it's the parcels part of this and properties. And on the composition tab, I want to put the adjoiner on top. Okay? is I want that to be shown above the lots. And in fact, I want the right-of-way above lots, and I also want open space above lots. So I kind of want everything to cover up lots. And in fact, I want right-of-way to be on top of both of them. So adjoiner's on top, and then right-of-way, and then open space, and then lot, and then whatever else is left over. When I click OK, it's going to go through and change all the lots, and now I can see the open space, which was above the lot, covers up the edge here. Right-of-way covers up everything. Adjoiner covers up the lots, and now I'm getting the right display. I'm getting the right line type and color and layer displayed whenever I have overlapping parcel edges, like I do back here or in the front here. Okay, so that's part of getting our drawing to look the way it should. The next thing we'll look at is changing the area label styles. The area label styles will be handled in much the same way that we handled the parcel styles themselves. So I'll grab these two open space parcels, go into Properties, and change the area label style to open space. And actually, we don't have open space is the parcel style. I think for this we used maybe name. Here we go, proposed description and area. That looks good. And I mean, these are your exercises to kind of do with as you please, so you could actually use whatever style you want when you do them. The right-of-way, I'd rather not have a label style at all. So I don't get to choose none as an option in the Properties window, so I'm going to have to go to Parcel Properties for this so that I can say Object Style. I'm sorry, in the Composition tab, I want the area label style to be none, and that'll take that label away. Then we have the adjoiner, and let's do existing description and area. Looking good so far. And then we, of course, have all the lots. Now again, I could, if things were working properly, I could do this in Prospector exactly the same way that I just described you would do it with style. But we don't have that option, so I'm going to do it with the same command we used earlier, multiple parcel properties. So I'll draw lines through all of my lot parcels. Press enter, and I'll change the area selection label style to lot number. I'm going to apply that to all of the parcels, all 46 of them. Yes. Click OK, and just like that, it's all taken care of. So it's starting to look more and more like the professional drawing that the exercise instructions describe. The next thing we'll take care of is some segment labeling. So I'm going to go up to my parcels, up to my Annotate tab, and say Add Labels. And I can go ahead and close down Prospector for now. And my feature I'm going to do is a parcel, and I want to do multiple segment because I want to create as many parcel labels as I can at once. And I'll use bearing over distance for my line bearings and delta over length and radius for my curves. So I'll click Add and just start dropping in these labels. I'm going to use clockwise as my direction. One thing that's neat about Civil 3D labels is they're smart enough to not duplicate themselves when you've got parcel lines that overlap one another. So I can just keep working my way down until I have all the parcels done. I'm not going to do all of them just so I don't bore you to death. I'm also going to do this existing parcel as well. Now, some of the bearings and distances we have are, in fact, existing, so I'm probably going to want to come to this label right here, for instance, and change its style. So instead of bearing over distance, let's do bearing over distance existing, which is going to give us a slightly different look to the label. And whatever existing means in my company, it might mean a different layer or a different color or a different font, whatever happens to be the case. But I want to use the style, and the style will take care of the rest. If I've got any overlapping labels, like here, this is looking kind of messy, I might want to pull that out. Or later on, we're going to actually put that curve label in a table. This is looking kind of messy here. Maybe I can pull this over and and make it look cleaner. We've got quite a few more curve labels that aren't fitting very nicely in the drawing that we have to drag out. So I could keep going and going with adjusting the appearance of the labels. Something else we did in previous exercises is we went and changed the style. For this example, I changed it to just bearing, and we can flip it to the outside, and then we can take this label, for example, and this label, and this label, because this is all the same bearing, and we can change the style to just distance, and then also flip it to the other side. So now we've got one bearing taking care of several parcels, and the distance is on the inside. So we don't have to label bearing after bearing after bearing after bearing. We can label the bearing once and have one label take care of several of them. And again, I could continue to go through and edit each parcel, getting that all straightened out until everything looks just beautiful. Something else I thought we were going to have to do is renumber the parcels, but I can see now that they are already nicely numbered. But just to show how you might do that, I'm going to go ahead and renumber them backwards. So I'll click a parcel, and I'm going to say rename or renumber rename. I'll start the numbering at 1, and I want to use the name template in the parcel style. Click OK, and I'm just going to go backwards, just like this. Just for something fun to do, we're going to renumber these in the reverse order that they are in the rest of the book. Alright, now we go from 1 to 46 in the opposite direction. Alright, so let's look at some tables now. On the Annotate tab, I can add a table, parcel, and add area. We want to choose a style for the table that does what our purposes are. I'm going to say area only, and I'm going to pick everything that has a lot number style to it. And there's all my lot numbers and their associated areas. As we would expect, many of them are the same. And then for any curves that don't quite fit on the line, I'm going to do a curve table. And I'm going to go out and actually pick the labels that I want to place in the table. And I could do them all by style, but I'm actually going to go through and visually say, you know what, these guys don't fit very well on their curves. This one's looking really bad. I think we've got a little bit of a problem here. There may be a few that we can leave as is, like this one. That one's looking good, but this one's not looking so good. And I'll hit enter. I'm going to convert those to tags. Click OK, and place my curve table over here. Now I could always add more labels to this if I wanted to. Notice that I can add items and remove items and replace items. But for now, this is these are the curves that I have labeled. And again, I could continue to go throughout the drawing and get all of the labels taken care of. I can also renumber the tags. Probably don't want to start with 178. Probably want to start with 1. But what I need to do is go into the settings for the tags and get the settings straightened out. And the way to do that is kind of tricky. What you have to do is go to the Modify tab and bring up Parcels, and you have to launch the Renumber Tag command without picking a tag first. So you launch the command Renumber Tags and then S for Settings, and now I can go through and say, alright, I want these all to be 1s. Now I can pick a tag and it's going to renumber it. And I can work my way around the drawing, numbering the tags 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay. So I think that takes care of at least the beginnings of all the different things that we can do to make this look like a more professional drawing. We've changed the parcel styles, we've addressed the parcel style display order, we've changed the parcel area label styles, we've labeled the segments, the lines, bearings, distance, and curve data, and we've created some tables. We've gone through and renumbered the parcels, we've renumbered the tags. These are all the different things you have to do once the parcels are all laid out to turn all that information into something that looks good and conveys the story that you need it to tell, either to the reviewer or the contractor or whoever the reader of the drawing might be. So that takes care of the additional exercise for Chapter 13.